Autism is more common than people think. People with autism see, feel, and hear the world differently to others. And because so little is known about autism, it presents a challenge for many Kenyan families. But it doesn't have to be a challenge. It all starts with understanding autism and what goes behind and towards raising a child who's living with autism. Let's live out loud with one such lady. Her name is Veronica Gakio. Next. Hello and how are you? Thank you for stopping by this channel. It is Sheila Lives Out Loud. My name is Sheila and we are at the Westwood Hotel in Nairobi, encouraging you to live, love and grow in everything that you do. On the show today, we are going to seek to understand a little bit more about autism and what goes towards raising a child who's living with autism. Here to walk us through that journey is Veronica Gakio. Good day to you.
Good day, Sheila.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's so good to see you and finally meet you. We've been chatting online. I tell you, everything is online nowadays.
Yes, it is.
If you're not online, I don't know where you are.
It's true.
But don't miss out on being online because you could miss out on being part of great story initiatives. But tell us a little bit about you before we talk about your beautiful daughter.
I've been working in Dubai for the last 9 years. I came back to Kenya in 2014. Besides working there, I used to do lots of charity work there. I was in an organization called Aid in Motion, where we used to get donations like old clothes from the people living there and send them to Kenya, Somali, or Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. Then when I came back to Kenya, I decided to chill for a bit. Then I decided to get a job.
Oh, right. So you're a very hardworking woman, and you're also raising a daughter. We're all set to understand autism a little bit more. And you reached out and said, you know, Sheila, I've been catching up with what you're doing, and there's a conversation that you need to have about children with autism. And so here you are, here I am. So let's find out about your journey. Tell us about your baby.
My baby was, it was a long, tedious journey. At 4 months, when I was 4 months pregnant, the doctors told me that I need to terminate the pregnancy because her kidneys had water. But I decided I won't do it. I said, it's okay, I'll just go and get a second opinion from another doctor. I went to several hospitals and they told me it's okay, with time, she's going to be fine. So then after several months, at 7 months, I could not breathe completely. I had difficulties in breathing, so I went to 3 different hospitals. The last hospital, it's called Iranian Hospital in Dubai. They told me I had to have an emergency C-section because my heart could not pump blood for the both of us. So she was in the NICU for a couple of days. I was in ICU for 3 days. So I only had to see photos of her. My friends and my ex-husband used to bring photos to the NICU. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That must have been very difficult. And she was your first baby.
Yes.
And you know the excitement with first-time moms because you're thinking, here's the future, and you can't wait to meet the future, and you're planning for the baby, but 4 months in, you get this news, and then 7 months later, you've got this terrible thing that happens. But how long was the baby in the NCIU?
She was there for 4 days. Then they said she's healthy, so she could be out of the NICU.
Okay. I had a conversation with a doctor who once said, you know, when children have special needs, there's certain conditions that they can identify much earlier during the pregnancy. Now, a situation like autism, doctors can't tell in vitro. And how did you tell that Grace was different? What let you know that she wasn't going to be like another baby?
When she was a few months old, she took time to walk, but people kept on telling me, it's okay, she's going to walk, take your time. Then she had that thing with the light. She'd always go and stand in front of the light or laugh at her own shadow. And we'd just laugh about it. We say, she's just interesting. Because people used to tell me, and then I didn't know about autism back then.
Right.
So I thought maybe she's just a happy baby because she was always laughing, going to one particular corner where she'd just go and laugh her heart out. Mm-hmm. So she didn't talk until I came back to Kenya when she was almost 2 years. So he said, so people told me here that you need to take her to a school. Maybe it's because in Dubai, she was just in the house throughout. And the house girl was Ethiopian who could not speak perfect English. It was very little English.
Right.
So people told me it's because the house girl was Ethiopian. She was always in the house. When you go to the playground, it's Indian kids, white kids, Filipinos. So people assume she's just getting confused. When she started going to school, nursery, the teacher told me, maybe there's something wrong with Grace. So I asked several people. I even went to Gertrude, and they were like, no, she's okay. She's quite fine. She's just having delayed speech.
Yeah.
So after 1 year, then I decided I think I should need to now seek more help. I read an article. My dad kept on saying, you know what, Grace has autism. I used to tell him, no, she doesn't have autism.
So your dad picked up on that and
he
noticed
kept bringing
and thought,
me, yeah.
hold on, this I think I've read about or I know about.
Yes, so he kept bringing me newspaper with autism.
Articles, yeah.
Yes, articles on autism. So I'd be like, no, she doesn't have autism. Everybody says she's okay. So one day there was an article, and I contacted the guys, and his name is Jimmy. He added me in a group called DTSK, meaning Differently Talented Society of Kenya. It's a non-profit organization for parents, teachers, and caregivers where people share ideas and information regarding autism. It's through that group that I've come to learn a lot about autism. Then I went to see Dr. Onala.
Yes, him, John.
Yes, John
Yes,
Onala.
Dr.
He was in
John.
your show, yes.
Yes.
So he's been seeing Grace, advising me on the diets, on what to do with her, how the materials I need for her learning, etc., etc. Yes.
Now, speaking with Dr. John, I understand from what he taught me, because when we think about children with special needs, we're always thinking about disabilities.
Yes.
But special needs are not just about disabilities. It could be serious gifts and talents. It could be being a genius. That is a child with a special need.
Yes.
The needs that child has will not be the same as an ordinary child. And in dealing with Dr. John, I'm sure the things that Grace has developed and you can see in Grace that are simply spectacular. Tell us a little bit about that.
She's really improved since I started the diet, and now he told me how to teach her things, and she's quite fast at learning things, and she's very impatient. When you teach her one thing 2-3 times and she can understand, she'll leave you alone and just run away.
She's moving on to the next.
Yeah, she wants to move on even to the next thing. Right. So in school, the good thing is I've taken her to a very good school. They are very understanding. It's called New Eagle School. So the teacher gives her a one-on-one, because she realized that Grace understands very fast, and when she gets bored, she'll just distract the whole class.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not because she doesn't want to, it's just, I'm done with this one.
I'm done, I'm bored.
Teach me something new. And I'm sure she remembers everything else that she's like a sponge.
Yes.
Picking up, and it's got to be, let me pick up new things, But in being able to experience Grace and having help, we have to understand that there's so many other families that don't have access to Dr. John like you do. There are many others who don't even know what autism is. So where would parents like those begin? Because I'm sure 1 or 2 may be watching and thinking, but I've been looking for help, where do I go?
For starters, I think it's best if they join support group. I mean, 3 of them, DTSK, Kenya Autism Association, and another one called First Word. So the more groups you are involved in, the more information you get, because you're going to learn a lot. There's different people with different opinions, so you have so much that you can do when you're learning, and also through the internet. You just research and research. You don't just take something because somebody said and just start doing it with your kid, especially the diets or things to do. Because some people are telling me that mpeleke penye pana siafu, then
what?
They'll eat her, then she'll start talking, because Grace is non-verbal.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Take the baby to doo-doos?
Yes, to the ants.
That is not right.
She was telling me they do that in Uganda. If a kid has delayed speech, they take her to the ants, and then once she's eaten, she'll start talking.
I tell you, a lack of understanding brings about a lot of pain and a lot of hurt.
Yes.
Because have you ever been bitten by a siafu? Safari ants?
Just one, and you can imagine a whole
it's not hilarious.
lot of them.
It's painful. Look at me, I'm recoiling like one's just bitten me. It's absolutely not right, the things that people do. But that points to a lack of information and a lack of knowledge. The 2 things that you've put on the table here: 1, diet, which I'd like us to revisit.
Okay.
And 2, support.
Okay.
And in talking about support, when you found out that Grace has autism, I'm already picking up from your father's actions that you had a very supportive family, that you had a cushioning for what was going on. Because again, if this is your first child and your child is not developing like other children are developing, you begin to fear, and you begin to get afraid of the society and what they will say about your child. So let's talk about support before we move on to diet for Grace.
Okay.
Tell us about support with your family, your friends, and any kind of stigma or problems that you may have faced and lack of support from people who you expected it from.
Okay. My family has been very supportive because if my dad hadn't pushed me, I could still say, people are telling me it's delayed speech, she's going to talk. So it's through him that I've come to know a lot, and I accepted it. It took me a day to accept and start doing the necessary things. Also, my brothers, I don't have a sister, I only have brothers. They've been very supportive. If I need baby to go somewhere and the house girl is not around, they gladly stay with her. They don't mind. Yes. I also have a lot of friends who ask me maybe to take Grace for a week or 2. They spend time with them. They always tell me that you need a break, because I'm a single mom. So they always tell me you need a break from this. Just bring her. She's going to stay with us for a couple of days, then take a break.
She'll come back home. And she doesn't have a problem with being away from mom.
Not at all.
She's very independent.
Yes.
It's just that she won't communicate verbally, but she's aware and she's present.
She has her own language. She takes you to the kitchen, takes her bowl, or if she wants water or milk, she'll take whatever she wants. She'll take the bottle, so you'll know she wants water or milk or juice. Yes.
Yeah.
If she takes the bowl, you know she wants food.
Okay.
Yeah, so when she cries, you'll know there's something wrong. Maybe she wants to sleep, or maybe if it's a new house, she doesn't know the kitchen, she'll start crying and know she wants food.
Okay, because it's unfamiliar, so okay, and you've understood what her system of communication is.
Yes.
Looking at her diet, talking to Dr. John and a panel on children with special needs a few weeks ago, I understood the importance of diet. So walk us through Gracie's diet just a little bit.
Okay. Grace, when we came back, in Dubai she used to eat basically anything. But when we came to Kenya, from the first day she started refusing things. She only wanted white food. That's a thing kids with autism do. She wanted maybe rice with milk, ugali with milk, that's it. So for a whole year, that was all she was eating. Then I decided I've had enough of it. I'll blend whatever food I want you to have with the rice, then you'll have it. So I'd force her, maybe she'd have a few spoons, then she refuses, so I had to start forcing it. Then with time, she accepted that I have to eat whatever my mom gives me. Yes, as long as you blend the food. If you don't blend the food, she won't. Not the rice, like if it's greens with carrots and everything, you have to blend it, then she'll eat with the rice.
Okay,
Yes.
and what sort of diet is she on? Because I know very processed foods rich in sugar and saturated fats are never recommended for children with special needs, and that crosses over to children with autism as well.
It's recommended for them not to have sugars or gluten. The good thing about Grace, she doesn't like sugar things. If you give her a sweet, she'll not take it. You give her cough syrup, which is a little bit bitter, she'll go for it and even ask for a second taking.
Right, she's got a taste for the sour and the bitter.
Yes.
Because so little is known about autism, when we're out in public, and I've seen families with different children with special needs, and society still doesn't understand. And some children will be very hyper, they'll be very loud, they'll be very active, and then others will exhibit the kind of behaviors that other children don't. And it's very easy for people to judge families, to judge these children and make assumptions without understanding. Have you ever experienced that with Grace?
Yes, I have. When we're going somewhere and maybe you're using public transport, she decides, I want my own seat. I don't want anybody to hold me. So, and you know, in matatus at times, they'd be like, hey, mama, hata kama umelipa, shika huo mtoto. You know?
Right.
So you have to stand your ground and say, but I already paid for her seat. I don't care who wants to come in.
Yeah.
My baby does not like being held by anyone. Then it comes, there's this thing when she doesn't like, she's very clean. She likes being clean. So if she senses maybe she has a little bit of mucus and I cannot see, she'll remove it, then wipe it off somebody else, not
Someone
me.
else,
yes.
right.
And then she'll try and wipe it off you.
Oh, wow. I can see how that can cause grief to
Yes.
someone who has no idea
Yeah.
of what is happening.
So you have to jump quickly and say, explain her condition, because
Yeah.
some people will just think that this kid is just spoiled or you're just being careless. Yes.
So let's not be quick to judge when we don't understand.
Yes.
Let's be quick to understand and to assist.
It's true.
Because it's already difficult enough. We don't need outsiders adding to that pot. When you think about the future, what do you see for Grace? What would you like to see for Grace?
Grace will, from the look of things, she's going to be she's a very bright girl. So for me, I see a very bright future for her. Because for some kids, it all depends with the level of autism or how the kid is. Some, maybe they are good at sports, others, they're all good at different things. So Grace is very good at just understanding things very fast. You don't need to teach her things twice. You tell her to do one thing, she'll do it. You try to make her repeat, she'll stop. Even with the therapy, whenever the speech therapy comes, and she tries to repeat something she did when she came to the house, she doesn't like it. So
She
for her,
wants new challenges.
and she'll start singing or humming.
I'm gone. I've
To show
switched
you.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, I've switched off.
So she's very clear about moving on to the next.
Yes.
As a parent, there are always fears. Together with the hopes, there are always fears. What do you fear? And I know that's a very personal question, but what do you sit back sometimes and think, "Whew, dear Lord, I know you're hearing me"?
My biggest fear is, since Grace is nonverbal, she will get lost. There was once she was at my speech therapist's place for a few weeks, and for like 30 minutes she got lost. Coincidentally, I called her to check up on her, and she could not pick up the call because she didn't know what to tell me. So for me, my biggest fear is letting her go just anywhere with anyone. I have to tell the person to be very careful with her, keep an eye on her. If she just goes like a few footsteps from you, just go with her. If you can't do that, let me be with my baby, because she'll definitely get lost.
Okay.
Yes.
But despite the fears, there's hope and there's joy.
Yes.
We can talk about Grace for a long time. She's such a marvelous child. But I'd like you to encourage others who are watching, who are going through what you're going through, and who are seeking to understand and get more support. What would you like to say to them?
First of all, acceptance is very important, because so many people like to pretend that all is well. It's always good to accept that your child is a bit different and look for a way of dealing with it, and not to hide your kids or to pretend that I can't tell people about my kid, I cannot tell people my kid has autism. Just speak out, and you never know, you're going to learn a lot when you talk to people about it.
Right. In speaking out, there's help, and reaching out for help is never a sign of weakness.
It's true.
In fact, it's a sign of strength.
Yes.
That's what ensures you survive to fight another day.
It's true.
Thank you so much for being here. I know there is the Autism Initiative. Would you like to say a few words about this initiative and how we can all be a part of it?
DTSK normally organizes a sports day or family day out throughout the year.
Yeah.
So I'd encourage any parent out there to join the group on WhatsApp or Facebook, and you can always get your kid to go play, because the kids go out and play without any fear of being stigmatized by other kids, and it's a fun day for...
It's a great day for the kids.
And the
And as
parents.
parents, you can interact with other parents who understand what you're going through.
Yes.
So you're not alone. We're never really alone.
No, we are not.
I think we're alone when we choose not to ask for help or to speak up.
Yes.
But when you do, then life isn't so bad.
It becomes a little bit easy.
And that's what this journey is. We walk together to make it a little easy, because it's full of challenges, but together we can walk through anything.
Yes, it's true.
Fantastic. Veronica, thank you so much for your time. I'm so grateful that you responded to the call, and we look forward to catching up with you and finding out more about the progress of Grace.
Thank you
She's
for
now
having
ours
me here.
also.
Yes.
So we are silent aunties from, the sidelines, but we're right there with you.
Okay.
And the door remains open to living out loud.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you also for having me here.
Excellent. Can we share your social media and the organization's social media contacts for anybody who'd like to reach out to you.
Yes,
Is that
please.
okay?
Yes, that's
Excellent.
okay.
So we will tag you on all of our posts
right.
surrounding this conversation.
All right, there's also the Kenya Autism Alliance. It's also very helpful, so people can always add that to their group.
All right, the Kenya Autism Alliance will definitely add that. Check out my social media sites so you can get the help that you're looking for. Thank you for being a part of this conversation. Remember, if there's something that needs to be told, a journey that needs to be shared, that's what Sheila Lives Out Loud is all about. Get in touch with me, use my social media sites. Let's get the right conversations happening. Let's tell the things and stories that need to be told. We sign off from the Westwood Hotel in Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you again for finding this channel. Remember to hit subscribe and click on notifications. Until our next episode, live out loud. Bye-bye.